Om Sai Ram. Today I am going to read you out chapter 18 and 19. How Hemant Pant was accepted and blessed, stories of Mr. Sathe and Mrs. Deshmukh, encouraging good thoughts to fruition, variety in Upanishad, teachings regarding slander and remuneration for labor. In the last two chapters, Hemant Pant described how a rich gentleman aspiring for quick Brahmagyan was treated by Baba, and now in these two chapters he describes how Hemant Pant himself was accepted and blessed by Baba. How Baba encouraged good thoughts and fructified them, and his teachings regarding self-improvement, slander and remuneration for labor. Preliminary. It is a well-known fact that Sadguru looks first to the qualification of his disciples and then gives them suitable instructions without unsettling their mind in the least and leads them on towards the goal of self-realization. In this respect, some say that what the Sadguru teaches or instructs should not be divulged to others. They think that their instructions become useless if they are published. This view is not correct. The Sadguru is like a monsoon cloud. He pours down profusely, that is, he scatters widely like his nectar-like teachings. These we should enjoy and assimilate to once our heart's content and then serve others with them without any reservation. This rule should apply not only to what he teaches in our waking state, but to the visions he gives us in our dreams. To quote an instance, Buddha Kaushal Rishi published his celebrated Ram Raksha Stotra, which he had seen in his dream. Like a loving mother forcing bitter but beneficial medicines down the throats of her children for the sake of their health, Sai Baba imparted spiritual instructions to his devotees. His method was not veiled or secret but kept open. The devotees who followed his instructions got their object. Sadgurus like Sai Baba open our eyes of the intellect and show us the divine beauty of the self and fulfill our tender longings of devotion. When this is done, our desire for sense objects vanishes. Twin fruits of Vivek and Vairagya, that is, dispassion or non-attachment, come to our hands and knowledge sprouts up even in the sleep. All this we get when we come in contact with saints, Sadguru, serve them and secure their love. The Lord who fulfills the desires of his devotees comes to our aid. He removes our troubles and sufferings and makes us happy. This progress or development is entirely due to the help of Sadguru, who is regarded as the Lord himself. Therefore, we should always be after the Sadguru, hear his stories, fall at his feet and serve him. Now we come to our main story, Mr. Sathe. There was a gentleman named Mr. Sathe who had attained some publicity many years ago during Crawford regime, which was put down by Lord Rea, the governor of Mumbai. He suffered severe losses in trade. Other adverse circumstances gave him much trouble and made him sad and dejected. Being restless, he thought of leaving home and going out to a distant place. Man does not generally think of God, but when difficulties and calamities overtake him, he turns to him and prays for relief. If his demerits have come to an end, God arranges his meeting with a saint, who gives him proper directions regarding his welfare. Mr. Sathe had similar experience, His friends advised him to go to Shirdi, where so many people were flocking to get Sai Baba's darshan. For getting peace of mind and the satisfaction of their wants. He liked the idea and at once came to Shirdi in 1917. Seeing Baba's form, which was his like eternal Brahma, self luminous, peerless, and pure, his mind lost his restlessness and became calm and composed. He thought that it was the accumulation of merits of his former births that he was brought him to the holy feet of Baba. He was a man of strong will. He at once started to make a parayana of Guru Charitra, and when his reading was finished in the Saptaha 7 days, Baba gave him a vision that night. It was to this effect Baba, with Guru Charitra in his hand, was explaining its contents to Mr. Sathe, who was sitting in front and listening carefully. When he woke up, he remembered the dream and felt very happy. He thought that it was extremely kind of Baba, who awakens souls like his that are snoring in ignorance and makes them the taste the nectar of Guru Charitra. Next day, he informed Kaka Sahib Dikshit of this vision and requested him to consult Sai Baba regarding its meaning or significance, whether one saptaha, that is week's reading, was sufficient or whether he should begin again. Kaka Sahib Dikshit, when he got a suitable opportunity, asked Baba, Deva, what did you suggest Mr. Sathe by this vision? Whether he should stop or continue the saptaha? He is a simple devotee. His desire should be fulfilled. Then Baba replied, he should make one more saptaha of the book. If the work he studied carefully, the devotee will become pure and will be benefited. The Lord will be pleased and will rescue him from the bondage of mundane existence. At this time, Hemant Pant was present there. He was shampooing Baba's legs. When he heard Baba's words, he thought in his mind, what Mr. Sathe read for a week only and he got a reward, and I am reading it for 40 years with no result. His 7 days stay here becomes fulfilled or fruitful, while my 7 years stay, that is from 1910 to 1917, goes for nothing. Like a chatak bird, I am ever waiting for merciful cloud, that is Baba, to pour its nectar on me and bless me with his instructions. No sooner did this thought cross his mind, Baba knew it then and there. It was the experience of the bhaktas that Baba understood all their thoughts and that he suppressed the evil thoughts and encouraged the good ones. Reading Hemant Pant's mind, Baba at once asked him to get up and go to Shama, that is Madhavrao Deshpande, get from him rupees 15 as dakshina, sit and chit chat with him for a while, and then return. Mercy dawned in Baba's mind, and so he issued this order, and who could disobey Baba's order? Hemant Pant immediately left the masjid and came to Shama's house. He had just bathed and was wearing a dhotar. He came out and asked Hemant Pant, how is it that you are here now? It seems that you have come from the masjid. Why do you look restless and dejected? Why are you alone? Please sit and rest while I shall do my worship and return. In the meanwhile, you please take pan bida, that is leaf and betel nuts, etc. Let us then have a pleasant chat. After saying this, he went inside and Hemant Pant sat alone in the veranda. He saw in the window a well-known Marathi book named Nath Bhagat. This is a commentary by Saint Eknath on the 11th Skanda chapter of bigger Sanskrit work, the Bhagavad. At the suggestion or recommendation of Sai Baba, Messrs. Bapu Sahib Jog and Kaka Sahib Dikshit read Bhagavad Gita daily. with its Marathi commentary named Bhavarth Deepika or Dhyaneshwari. That is a dialogue between Krishna and his friend devotee Arjuna, and Nath Bhagavad, a dialogue between Krishna and his servant devotee Uddhava, and also Eknath's other big works, that is Bhavartha Ramayana. When devotees come to Baba and ask him certain questions, he sometimes answered them in part and asked them to go and listen to the readings of the above mentioned works, which are the main treatise of Bhagavad Dharma. When the devotees went and listened, they got full and satisfactory replies to their questions. Hemant Pant also used to read daily some portions of Nath Bhagavad. That day, he did not complete the daily portion of his reading, but had left it unfinished in order to accompany certain devotees who were going to the masjid. When he took up the book from Shama's window and casually opened it, he found to his surprise that the unfinished portion opened up. He thought that Baba sent him very kindly to Shama's house for enabling him to complete his daily reading. So he went through and finished a portion and completed it. As soon as this was over, Shama, after doing his worship, came out and following conversation took place between them. Hemant Pant: I have come with a message from Baba. He has asked me to return with rupees 15 as dakshina from you, and also sit with you for a while and have a pleasant chit chat and then return to the masjid with you. Shama, with surprise: I have no money to give. Take my 15 namaskars, that is prostrations, in lieu of rupees 15 as dakshina to Baba. Shama: Hemant Pant: all right, your namaskars are accepted. Now let us have some chit chat. Tell me some stories and leelas of Baba which will destroy our sins. Shama: then sit here for a while. Wonderful is the sport or leela of this god, that is Baba. You know it already. I am a village rustic while you are an enlightened citizen. You have seen more some leelas since you came over here. How should I describe them before you? Well, take these leaves, betel nuts, and tuna and have a pan bida while I go and dress myself and come out. In a few minutes, Shama came out and sat talking with Hemat Pant. He said, the Leela of this god, that is Baba, is inscrutable. There is no end to his Leelas. Who can see them? He plays or sports with his Leelas, still he is beyond or unaffected by them. What do we rustics know? Why does not Baba himself tell stories? Why does he send learned men like you to fools like me? His ways are inconceivable. I can only say that they are not human. With this preface, Shama added, I now remember a story which I shall relate to you. I know it personally. As a devotee is resolute and determined, so is Baba's immediate response. Sometimes Baba puts the devotees to serve to severe test and then gives them upadesh, that is, instructions. As soon as Hemat Pant heard the word upadesh, as it a flash of lightning crossed through his mind, he at once remembered the story of Mr. Sathe's Guru Charitra reading and thought that Baba might have sent him to Shama in order to give peace to his restless mind. However, he curbed this feeling and began to listen to Shama's stories. They all showed how kind and affectionate Baba was to his devotees. Hemat Pant began to feel joy on hearing all these. Then Shama began to tell the following story. The story of Mrs. Radhabai Deshmukh. There was an old woman by name Radhabai. She was the mother of one Kashaba Desmukh. Hearing Baba's fame, she came to Shirdi with the people of Sanganmer. She took Baba's darshan and was much satisfied. She loved Baba intimately and resolved in her mind that she should accept Baba as her guru and take some upadesh from him. She determined to fast herself unto death, so long as Baba did not accept her and give her upadesh or mantra. She stayed in her lodging and stopped taking food or water for 3 days. I was frightened by the ordeal of the old woman and interceded with Baba on her behalf. I said, Deva, what is this you have started? You draw so many persons here. You know that old lady, she is very obstinate and depends on you. She has resolved to fast unto death if you don't accept and instruct her. If anything worse happens, people will blame you and say that Baba did not instruct her, and it is the consequences she met her death. So take some mercy on her, bless her and instruct her. On seeing her determination, Baba sent for her and made her change her mind by addressing as follows. O mother, why do you have to subject yourself to unnecessary tortures? You are my mother and I am your child. Take pity on me and hear me through. I tell you my own story, which, if you listen carefully, will do you good. I had a guru. He was a great saint and most merciful. I served him long, very long, till or still he would not blow any mantra into my ears. I had keen desire never to leave him, but to stay with and serve him, and at all costs receive some instructions from him. But he had his own way. He first got my head shaved and asked me for 2 paise as dakshina. I gave the same at once. You may say that as my guru was perfect, why should he ask for money, and how should he be called desireless? The reply is that he never cared for coins. What had he to do with them? His 2 paise were firm faith and patience, that is perseverance. I gave these 2 paise to him and he was pleased. I resorted to my guru for 12 years. He brought me up. There was no dearth of food and clothing. He was full of love, or say, he was love incarnate. How can I describe him? He loved me most. Rare is the guru like him. When I looked at him, he seemed as if he was in a deep meditation, and then we both were fulfilled with his bliss. Night and day I gazed at him with no thought of hunger and thirst. Without him I felt restless. I had no other subject to meditate, nor any other thing than my guru to attend. He was my sole refuge. My mind was always fixed on him. This nishta, that is, the firm faith, is 1 paise of dakshina. Saburi, that is, patience and perseverance, is the other paisa. I waited patiently and served my guru. This saburi will ferry you across the sea of this mundane existence. Saburi removes all sins and afflictions, get rid of calamities in various ways, and casts aside all fears and ultimately gives you success. Saburi is the mind of virtues, consort of good thought. My guru never expected any other thing from me. He never neglected me but protected me all times. I lived with him and was sometimes away from him. Still, I never felt the absence of his love. He always protected me by his glance, Just as a tortoise feeds her young ones, whether they are near her or away from on the other side of the bank, by her just loving glances. Oh mother, my guru never taught me any mantra, then how shall I blow any mantra in your ears? Just remember that Guru's tortoise like loving glance gives us happiness. Do not try to get mantra or upadesh from anybody. Make me the sole object of your thoughts and actions, and you will no doubt attain Paramatma, that is, the spiritual goal of life. Look at me wholeheartedly, and I in turn look at you. Sitting in this masjid, I speak the truth, nothing but the truth. No sadhana or proficiency in the six shastras is necessary. Have faith and confidence in your Guru. Believe that Guru is the sole actor or doer. Blessed is he who knows the greatness of his Guru and thinks him to be his Hari, Hara, and Brahma, that is, Trimurti incarnate. Instructed in this way, the old lady was convinced. She bowed to Baba and gave up her fast. Hearing this story carefully and attentively and marking its significance and appropriateness, Hemant Pant was more agreeably surprised. On seeing this wonderful Leela of Baba, he was moved from top to toe. He was overflowing with joy. His throat was choked and he was not able to utter a single word. Shama, on seeing this condition, asked him, "What is the matter with you? Why are you silent? How innumerable Leelas of Baba shall I describe?" Just at this time, the bell in the masjid began to ring, proclaiming that the noon worship, that is, the Aarti ceremony, had begun. Therefore, Shama and Hemat Pant hurried to the masjid. Bapu Sahib Jog had just started the worship. Women were in the masjid and men were standing below in the open courtyard. And they were all singing the Aarti in chorus to accompaniment of drums. Shama went up and pulling Hemat Pant with him, he sat to the right and Hemat Pant in front of Baba. On seeing them, Baba asked Hemat Pant to give the dakshina before that he has brought from Shama. He replied that Shama gave namaskars in lieu of rupees and that he was there in person. Baba said, "All right, now let me know whether you both had a chit chat of or if so, tell me all that you have talked about." Not minding the sounds of the bells, the drums, and the chorus songs, Hemat Pant was eager to tell what they have talked and started to narrate it. Baba was also anxious to hear, and so he left the bolster and leaned forward. Hemat Pant said all that they talked about was very pleasant, especially the story of the old lady was most wonderful, and that on hearing it, he thought that his leelas were inexplicable, and under the guise of that story, he really was blessed, or he was blessed by Baba. Then Baba said, "Wonderful is the story. How were you blessed? I would like to know everything in detail from you. So tell me all about it." Then Hemat Pant related in full the story which he had heard a little while before and which had made a lasting impression on his mind. Hearing this, Baba was much pleased and asked him, "Did the story strike you and did you catch its significance?" He replied, "Yes, Baba. The restlessness of my mind has vanished and I have got true peace and rest and come to know the true path." Then Baba spoke as follows. "My method is quite unique. Remember well, this one story and it will be very, very useful to get the knowledge, that is realization of the self. Dhyana meditation is necessary. If you practice it continuously, the subtle thoughts will be pacified. Being quite desireless, you should meditate on God, who is all who is in all the creatures. And when the mind is concentrated, the goal will be achieved. Meditate always on my formless nature, which is the knowledge incarnate, consciousness, and bliss. If you cannot do this, meditate on my form from top to toe, as you see here night and day. As you go on doing this, your vrittis will be single pointed, and the distinction between the dhyata, and that is mediator, and dhyana, that is the act of meditation, and dhyaya, that is the thing meditated upon, will be lost. And the mediator will be one with the consciousness and be merged with the Brahma. The mother tortoise is on one bank of the river and her young ones are on the other side. She gives neither milk nor warmth to them. Her mere loving glances gives them nutrition. The young ones do nothing but remember, that is, meditate upon their mother. The tortoise glance is to the young ones the only source of sustenance and happiness. Similar is the relation between the Guru and the disciples. When Baba uttered these words, the chorus of the Aarti songs was over, and all cried out in unison, "Victory be to our Sadguru Sai Maharaj, who is pure consciousness, knowledge, and bliss." Dear readers, let us imagine that we are at this time standing amongst the crowd in the masjid, and let us join them in this Jai Jaikar. After the Aarti ceremony was over, Prasad was distributed. Bapu Sahib Jo came forward as usual, and after saluting Baba, gave into his palm a handful of sugar candy. Baba pushed all this into the hands of Hemant Pant and said to him, "If you take this story to heart and remember it well, your state will be sweet as sugar candy. All your desires will be fulfilled and you will be happy." Hemant Pant bowed to Baba and implored, "Do favor me like this, bless and protect me always." Baba replied, "Hear this story, meditate on it and assimilate its spirit. Then you will always remember and meditate on the Lord, who will manifest himself to you." Dear readers, Hemant Pant got prasad of sugar candy, and we now get the prasad of sugar candy or nectar of this story. Let us drink it to our heart's content, meditate on it and assimilate it, and be strong and happy by Baba's grace. Amen. Towards the end of the 19th chapter, Hemant Pant had dealt with some other matters which will be given below in my next video. Bow to Shri Sai, peace be to all. If you really like my recitation, please support me, like, share and subscribe. Thank you.